Hey there, I'm back again, and I'm out here in the woods cooking a cup of tea, my firebox, and I thought about making a video. Primarily because I've been thinking about the current global situation and how it may be counteracted by an intelligent will, the vehicles of which must be us, those who are awake, and who see quite clearly what's going on. And it's now incumbent on us to formulate the alternative, the counter-revolution. And this is, of course, the very substance of what I've been thinking about, contemplating. We're now seeing the rise of a globalist empire, where technocratic power lords will be dictating the course of our society. And this will not be a kind of society that you would like to live in, to participate in, because it will not be on your terms. You will see your freedoms be stripped away. And you'll have nothing to do about it, unless you put up a resistance. But this resistance, in order to be effective, must be orchestrated. It must be organized. It must be a communal effort, if you will. Because no single man can do this on his own. We're all going to have to formulate our response as a collective to this globalist threat that we're now facing. And what will be the essence of this response, this counteraction? That's really the question to be answered right now. And that is the question that I intend to attempt to answer. So, what will be the response? How are we to answer this encroachment of our liberties, of our human nature? Since, as you all probably know, this globalist revolution is indeed accompanied by a transhumanist revolution, the very instrumentalization of which I won't be discussing too explicitly here, since that would probably get me banned. However, we see on the horizon a looming transhumanist monstrosity that is indeed championed on by these globalist power lords, and it's indeed a new form. It appears to be a new form of religion for these people, worshipping this idea of the revolution, the mechanization of human nature, so as to become controllable by these power lords. That can, of course, like such a mechanistic usurpation of human will, can of course only be properly countered by a retreat, a re-emphasis, a reaffirmation of our intrinsic relation to nature. That is indeed going to be the response to this transhumanist man mechanization that is on the docket of these people. And the exact nature of this reunification with genuine humanity, with who we really are, is going to be a pagan revival. It's going to be a retreat, a recourse to archaic tradition as it was practiced in our own national regions, spheres, domains, dominions. I have myself reconnected with my pagan roots. I'm on my journey, my own journey to doing that. And I would encourage you to do the same, since a full re-identification with our pagan ancestry is, in my opinion, going to facilitate, is indeed very much indispensable in order to bring about, or perhaps instrumentalize, or perhaps vitalize this counter-revolutionary movement. Because it needs to have a core. It needs to have a vitalizing principle at its core in order to fully function. Otherwise, we're going to be conducting skiamarchy, like we're going to fight with the shadows. We're going to be punching into thin air. We are going to be punching with a fist that's made of thin air and shadows. We'll be wielding a sword that isn't a real sword, because what are we fighting with? What is our response? Well, it has to be philosophically grounded. And it also has to be, I'm afraid, religiously grounded. Not in, Abrahamically, of course, because none of the Abrahamic religions are indigenous to the European continent. They are very much so ancient Near Eastern religions that have their proper cultural context there, not here. We never, in the north, in Scandinavia, practiced any form of Christianity, Judaism, before they came and made us. So none of that belongs to these regional swathes. We all hail from a long and proud tradition of heathenry. And this is what we must re-emphasize in order to counteract this globalist tyranny. Because if we lose our national identities, we will have nothing with which to oppose this globalist subjugation of the individual European nations under the and the subsequent subsumation thereof under a monogovernmental autocracy of global reach and influence. So, cheers. Heathenry is the true identity of Scandinavian religion and most religion around Europe. So I think in order to revitalize the spirit, the European spirit, we need to re-identify with these native pagan practices so as to regain our true nature and independence from this globalist tyranny that is on the rise. That is going to be our response to what is going on right now. There needs to be a heathen rebellion against the globalists and their tyrannical agenda. Otherwise, what is going to be our response? Well, we are going to have no response, and we're going to look extremely ridiculous in the eyes of our opponents. And that cannot be a good strategy. So therefore, we need to do this. If you are from Greece, well, practice Greek paganism. If you are from the north, practice Norse paganism. If you are from England, well, Celtic paganism is going to be your cup of tea. And if you're from the Balkans, then you probably have Balkan paganism. In the Baltics, you have Baltic. Like, you have paganism all over the place. And if you don't have, all the mythological lore written down and preserved, we can sort of share a bit and borrow and help each other reconstruct what our ancestors believed. And because we need to recrudesce the national identities. These big global organizations like the EU and the UN, their very purpose is to make Europe just this one big mongrelized continent. Like they're going to completely extirpate the indigenous white populations and introduce this new Eurasian Negroid race, as they've even said themselves. That's the terminology. That's not my coinage. That's indeed their own, very own phrase. So this pan-European movement cannot be allowed to proceed unhampered. We need to put up resistance, and it needs to be a counter-revolution consisting of a pagan revival, a retreat to the archaic ways of our ancestors. That is the only way in which we can truly gain freedom for ourselves and counteract this globalist tyranny. So I hope you're with me. This upload is coming up, this coming full moon, so I'll be filming a ritual there, sharing. If you're interested in participating as well from your own location, you can go in and you can go online and start researching Norse or whatever kind of heathenry that was practiced by your ancestors. We need to have this revival. We need to return to who we truly are, which are children of Mother Earth. Jord. Apart from that, there is no resistance. There is no pith, there is no core, there is no beating heart behind any of it. So I hope you're with me. I hope you're with Europe. I hope you're with the world. Yeah, I think that was it. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you'll be on your fortunate way.